Hey, Tracy lovers. Look, y'all, I want to come talk about actually locking in, having that tunnel vision because it really changed my life. Look, I just want to dive right in, y'all, and I want to ask y'all some questions. The first two questions I want to ask is how long is you going to keep saying you want more, but then you accept or you're okay with having less? And then how long are you going to keep praying for that elevation, but you still letting them distractions distract you? At some point, y'all, we have to stop with the videos, stop with the motivation videos, and just actually lock in. And when I say lock in, I don't mean just work hard for a couple days. I mean making the decision to actually grow that version of you, to actually focus, be disciplined, be intentional, be that person who you want to be right now. And sometimes, you know, we do it when we feel like it. Sometimes we lock in when we feel like it. But no, we need to lock in every single day. And I'm telling y'all right now, I'm in that season where I am locked in. And I want to come talk about it. I want to come talk about it. So come on and kick it with me real quick, y'all. I want to say lately something shifted within me. And I'm not talking about like just overnight. No, this was an intentional shift. Okay? I really just started prioritizing everything different. Like I started prioritizing my money more, my work, kids, my time. I had to start really prioritizing my energy. And I started making like space for new relationships, new friendships that align with where I'm going. I started to actually grow my business and started new projects, and I'm stepping into mentoring, y'all. Lately things been exciting. Honestly, if I was to be really honest and real with y'all, things for me have been exciting once I decided to actually lock in. It's exciting and it's also uncomfortable. And it's uncomfortable because I'm growing. And sometimes that growth, when it'll stretch you. Your growth will stretch you before you see some type of reward. You get what I'm saying? And in the middle of all that, y'all, God see me. He see me and he's still working on me. He not just blessing me, he is growing me. He is changing my desires. He's changing my mindset. He's changing like what I can and can't tolerate. And honestly, that got me realizing like it's not about just being busy or staying busy. It's about really locking in with your purpose. Locking in with purpose. Let me say that. All right. I want to define it because I know a lot of people throw that phrase around like lock in. I know my son say it a lot like mama, lock in. But I really want to define it because being locked in is not just being everywhere or it's not just doing everything. It's not burning yourself out. It's not saying yes to everything. That's not locking in. That's being scattered all over the place. Being locked in means you have tunnel vision on what matters to you. All right? When you locked in, you know your season and then you start moving accordingly. You're not chasing every opportunity that shows up, but you're committed to the ones that you want, the ones that you like. You're committed to the right ones. Okay? Being locked in is not reacting to life. It's really being intentional with with your life. Being intentional with your plans, being intentional with your goals. Locked in mean showing up even when you don't feel like it. Being consistent. And I know I say that a lot, but that's locking in. Being consistent when you don't feel like it. When things moving slow, you still stay consistent. When you don't see what your results that you want to see, you still stay consistent. Even if nobody is clapping for you, you keep on working and you keep on building. That's locking in. And then I want to challenge y'all, because I know some of y'all want to get motivated or think you need motivation every day to stay consistent. But that's where you get wrong at. You need to just start. You need to start strong. You need to get excited, and you need to talk about your vision. Actually start talking about it. Get one or two good people around you who want to see you win, who want to see you grow. All right? But don't stay in that just I'm excited about it, or you just talking about it, or you starting off strong. Don't stay there. You got to be consistent. That's the part that won't be perfect. That's the part that, that's a little hard. But being consistent is about it's about really being committed to yourself, believing in yourself. And it's gonna be days where you're gonna be tired, you're gonna get frustrated, you're gonna question stuff like, ugh, is this even for me? Do I even still want this? You get what I'm saying? You're gonna have days like that. But when you're committed, you locked in. You don't quit because things get uncomfortable. You just adjust. When you feel that something, adjust. And even if you have to, sometimes we got to pause, like, okay, let me breathe. And that's when that's not to overwhelm yourself, because some people think being consistent is just piling up that work, staying busy. And no, sometimes you have to pause to actually stay consistent in some things. You get what I'm saying? But you don't stop. You don't quit. You just pause. You breathe. And I really want to say that again. Like, you can rest. You can rest, but just don't quit. All right? Because that's a big difference. I want to give y'all a couple tips on just how to stay locked in. How to stay locked in. Because, like I say, me being intentional, something shifted, but it didn't shift overnight. Okay? So, if we want to get really practical on staying locked in, because I don't want you to just get all hyped up and then start moving and then fall flat. Okay? So, one of the main things I got is to get clear on your priorities. Okay? So if everything is important to you, nothing is. If you got a billion things that's important or top priority, you got to really pay attention or get clear on what actually matters right now to you. Whether that's your kids, your finances, your business, or you just want to heal from some things, lock in on your top priorities. And stop trying to juggle everything equally, because it's not going to happen like that. The second thing I got is prioritize your time like it's your money. Because a lot of us, feel like time is money, and it could be. You get what I'm saying? Well, let me say it is. Because a lot of people, look, we have to stop giving our time to people who drain us. You wouldn't just give your money away. So stop giving your time away. All right? Stop giving your time to those conversations that just don't go nowhere. You just talking and talking and talking, and it's going in one ear and out the other. Okay? Stop giving your time to them habits that don't serve you. We have so many habits that just keep us stuck. Okay? And just remember, every time you say yes to something, it's going to cost you something. Every time you say yes to something, it's going to cost you. So just pay attention to what you're spending your time on, just like you're spending your money. All right? Just be more selective on what you're doing. The third thing I got down here is build some discipline. Build some discipline. Don't just look for motivation, because motivation will leave you. And then what? Discipline will actually carry you through some stuff. When you're disciplined to just get up, or get up to just do, or, you're disciplined to just get stuff done, or disciplined to show up, that's carrying you through some tough days, I'm telling y'all. You ain't gotta wake up every day feeling like working. Who wake up every day feeling like going to work? Don't nobody. But you do it. You do it because you want those rewards. You do it because you locked in to getting a check. So build some discipline up. That's locking in. That's how you lock in. And then stay connected to God. Y'all know I have to put that in there. I think I want to come on here and start doing some Bible study. Have y'all actually sit down and do some Bible study with me, because I feel like that it not only grow me learning the Bible, but, hopefully somebody want to jump on board and grow with me on that. But we have to stay connected to God, because that's where people miss a lot of things. Y'all looking outside of source to get some energy, to get whatever you asking for, when He will bless us with it all. So we have to stay connected to God. Okay? You can be locked in on your goals, but if you're not aligned spiritually, you'll still feel empty. God is not a part of the plan. He is the plan. Okay? We could think we're planning all day, but if we ain't got God in it, we got to stay in His word. We got to stay prayed up, and we have to seek Him. Because when we do those things, He give us clarity, He give us strength, He give us direction and peace. Those things you can't buy. Some clarity, some strength you can hire, some direction. But I wouldn't spend $1 on none of that, especially when I know I can get it from God. For a little bit of nothing, paying attention, seeking. Okay? And that right there, that'll keep y'all grounded. Let me say this. That'll keep us. That'll keep us grounded. Okay? Because life is going to get chaotic. It is. And we need to seek God for some peace, direction, some clarity, some strength, all that good stuff. All right? The last thing I got down here is give yourself some grace. That's important. Give yourself some grace, but don't get too comfortable. Don't get too comfortable, because you're going to mess up. You're going to have some off days. You're going to want to take some off. And you don't want to let one bad day turn into one bad week. Then that week turn into a wasted month. Then that wasted month turn into a wasted year. You want to be able to reset quickly. Pause and then get back at it. That's how you stay locked in. All right? Because some things can get us stuck. Some things can break our focus. And that's where most people they lose, they fail, and they give up. Things that keep us stuck. Number one is distractions. Things that keep us stuck. Let's talk about it. It's the distractions. It's that social media. It's that chaos, that drama that we love. It's them. Oof. Did y'all see my last video? It's them old relationships. Some of them old relationships distract us and keep us stuck because it's comfortable for us. Things that keep us stuck is those comfortable zones. You get comfortable and it doesn't align to where you're going. That's a distraction. What's ever not helping you get to your goal, your finish line, that's a distraction. And I really want to break that down because it took me a minute to learn like what's distracting me. I went through a season where it was like, okay, I want some stuff. I know I got to get rid of some people, things, habits, all that good stuff. So what is stopping me? What is stopping me from reaching what I want to reach? Move all those distractions out the way. And then if it's self, work on self. Because sometimes we hold our own self up a lot. That mainly be the majority. Majority of us, the main reason why is because we are in our own way. So we just got to lock in. And we got to stop comparing. Stop comparing. I did a whole video on comparison a year ago, which still hit. It still matter. Looking at what everybody else is doing, what everybody else got, that will pull you out your lane real fast. Stay focused on your assignment. Don't worry about everybody else. Let them have a season. You don't know what level they been on or on. You don't know what they've been through. So don't look at somebody else and be like, why I ain't getting what? Don't do that. That's going to stop you. That's going to stop your blessings. That's going to keep you distracted on doing what you're supposed to be doing. And then another one is fear, y'all. We got to stop this fear. Fear will have you procrastinating, okay? Fear will have you wasting years, overthinking for years, waiting for the perfect time because I'm scared of something. No. There's no perfect time. We just got to do things. Sometimes we just got to do it. It's just being obedient. Stop waiting for the perfect time. We'll be waiting forever. And then that lack of discipline, that's something I want y'all to pay attention to. When you say you want more, but then your habits don't match with what you're trying to get to, that's a major problem. Let's talk about the reward. Because when you lock in, it's some rewards to that. And people don't see that enough. People don't know about the rewards. Because there are. When you lock in, you start seeing progress. Of course, it's not going to be overnight. But if you're consistent, it will show up. It builds your confidence when you stand consistent and you locked in, that builds your confidence. You stop second guessing everything. And you become someone that people can depend on. But even more than that, when you lock in with God, when you can stay in His word and when you can really be obedient, that is a different reward. That peace is everything. When things ain't perfect, that clarity is everything. When you don't have all the answers, His favor is everything. I'm trying to tell y'all. Doors start to open that you ain't have to force, you ain't gotta push. That's growth. Real growth is not just success on the outside. It's when you can really transform on the inside. And that's a reward. That's a reward when you can actually become. All right, y'all, let me go ahead and skedaddle. But I do want to say this before I leave. If you was to actually lock in for the next 30 days, how would your life look? That's my last question I'm going to leave y'all with. If you was to lock in for the next 30 days, how would your life look? If you would stop giving those excuses, if you would stop with the distractions, you know you're getting distracted, just no. If you was to stop with the inconsistency and just focus, be disciplined, and be aligned, what could change for y'all? Or who could you become? When you do that, you pick up more habits. You pick up good habits. The life that we all want is on the other side of being consistent. Not perfect, but consistent. So take a break if you need to. Pause if you need to, but please don't quit. Don't fall off. Don't go back to them old habits that keep you stuck. Lock in. Stay focused. Stay disciplined. Stay connected to God. And then just keep going. Because what's on the other side of this season that I'm in, it's so worth it. It's worth it for me to stay locked in. It's worth it for you to stay locked in. What's on the other side of your season of staying locked in is so worth it. All right? And I'm just going to go ahead and skedaddle. I'm going to leave y'all with that. I love y'all. I really want y'all to lock in with me this season. Not hitting my goals, but actually hitting your own. All right? All right, y'all. I love y'all. Catch y'all in the next one. Deuces.